We believe that the Beatles are not bigger than God, because we can take the Beatles like a metaphor for all the material things in life, and God as a metaphor for the religious things in life. So if we say that the Beatles are bigger than God, we are saying that material things are more important, which is clearly not true. Because God has helped a lot of more people, even though He might not exist. People believe in Him, and that's helpful for them because they have to believe in something.
Yeah, and also Beatles were only in 60s, and now we are still listening to them, but God is always, every time, and it helps in war and in other times to people, but things are changed, and it's not always the same, just it's about reality now, but God it's always the same and says always the same true, or if you believe in. And
yeah, so kind of like this first thing, we also like understood it as a metaphor, but we mostly think about Beatles as pop culture and especially pop music, and God as the religious things. Well, our main argument against this statement that we think that religion has a bigger moral impact on people than pop culture or pop music does. For example, if you read in the Bible or Torah or any other religious books, something like do not kill or do not steal, that's probably has a bigger effect on you, like Paul McCartney saying love is good.
And of course, God or religion has influenced over 2,000 years. It has much more bigger impact than Beatles. And then there are also billions of people that are...
Some people never heard about the Beatles, but Beatles is a little bit hard, but if we think rightly, then we know that probably knows. The Beatles are bigger, but the God is always with us, and we will be too.
Okay. The Beatles are having a more kind of audience because it's kind of musician, but God has mostly older people. So God is better than the Beatles. And if we are thinking rightly, then why we are just listening, why we are thinking that the Beatles are better than or bigger than the God all the time, He's with us. We can talk to Him, and we can feel that we are in the same.
Okay, so we are who said that God is more important than the Beatles, because God always helps us. Like I said, even if He doesn't exist, He helps us. And also, it's better to have something to believe in rather than to just don't have anything at all.
yeah, and Beatles or every musicians just look to concrete problems and talk about them. And in this time, it can help, but God always helps. Always has more things to talk about, to think about, and it can put people together, like religions, I think. Okay.
Okay. We need to agree that Beatles is huge and it has like a huge impact on life and the pop culture. But also just think about the numbers. Like all religions in the world like reached over billions of people through history, while Beatles cannot really say that. And well, their message is important as well, but you can't really like grow up to through Beatles lyrics that moral and like ethical highest like religion gives people.
And why do I think that God is bigger than Beatles? Because we can see it almost everywhere. The God's signs are almost everywhere. There are church or some sites or little.
Beatles can take us in another religions, and everyone has heard about the Beatles, and everyone can see it, but never think the God.
I think people think most. I think people think mostly the God, not the Beatles, because if you are thinking that you are thinking like a person, not for the musician band, it's better, and he can prove you and improve your life, kind of. The God gonna be help and not just only listening and having fun. I know it's the Beatles are a musician and you can have fun exactly, but the God is same as right now one.
Okay, so I disagree with Galana's statement that only because God, nobody has ever seen God, it means that he is less important than the Beatles. You don't have to know for exact reason that something exists in order for it to be important. And also God teaches a lot of more important things than the Beatles, like the thing B said. And that's why the God is more important than the Beatles.
And of course, the moral rules exist. We don't have to see the God, we have to see rules, like not kill anybody, and this is important. And think how many people are going to visit the church, and how many people are going to see Beatles, or were going. I think more people are going to visit churches and taking bigger trips to find it. And
I can totally agree with group number one on saying that, for example, I've never seen $1 billion before, but it probably exists. Even if it wouldn't, people could still believe it. And what's the main thing about not just Christianity, but all the religious beliefs, that it affects more ethnical, age, group or subcultures than Beatles does. Beatles is a special thing that probably just affects one bigger subculture, ones who like pop music or this kind of pop culture, while religious kind of like, to say a metaphor, build bridges between subcultures and all.
You also said that there's no fun with a God or religion, and that's not true, because what about Christmas or Easter? It's very important.
Beatles are bigger than God, yeah, and too much people going in concert to Beatles, but not the same people live in the God.
Beatles are bigger than God. It's true because
Okay, so in conclusion, I would like to say that the God is more important than Beatles because he gives us hope when we need it. He can also help us in hard times. He teaches us a lot of useful things in life, and the evidence for all of these things is that there are a lot of more people believing in God than in Beatles.
yeah, and of course, Beatles normally listen just people who were born in the last century, but in God can believe everybody. And now there's different musicals which do different things and criticize something different. So God is same always, and can believe it. It doesn't matter what's done with it and or how old are you.
Okay, so just to sum up our main arguments, while standing against the fact that Beatles is bigger than God, or pop music is bigger than religion, because, well, just to say that first, that religion at all the whole picture has much more moral impact than average pop music or pop bands does.
Actually, God has shaped this period, this 21st century, because He was shaping the moments from the beginning of the history until now, and thanks to Him, everything around us is the way it is.
Everyone has a choice, and some people like more God, and another like the Beatles, and they are bigger than God.
So the Beatles are bigger than God because if you're thinking in this years what we are in, all the people are just giving truth what they see or what they are listening, and they can't just listen and talk with the God. So that's why the Beatles are bigger, because all the kind of audience is falling down because they are with them in the real life.